I don't think I'm as cool as Trixie and Katya.
No, we're cooler.
No, we're not. We're really not.
Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is So I'm Watching Midnight Mass.
Woo! Excited.
We're attempting reactions.
Mhm.
And there's a part of me that was sort of aware that we were doing that. And
Yeah.
so I'm really trying to focus on watching the show. But also, I mean, this was stage setting.
Yeah.
So,
like most episode ones are.
yeah. We love Mike Flanagan. I don't think
much.
he's done, because I even watched Gerald's Game.
So I have not watched any of his movies yet,
Mhm.
but I've watched all 3 TV shows and I'm obsessed.
Not even 2 minutes had passed, and then this had already hurt my feelings twice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We have Zach Gilford as Riley Flynn. He is a young man.
I love him so much.
The opening scene
Mhm.
is the aftermath of a drunk-related car accident,
Yeah.
where he is the drunk driver and has killed a young girl. And it just is it's devastating, period. But just the way that he's so concerned
Mm-hmm.
and so drunk.
Yeah. I don't know how they made his eyes that glassy.
I don't know if you're new here, but I'm a sucker for a pretty face. Beauty forgives a multitude of sins.
Okay, and you haven't even watched Friday Night Lights. So,
Yeah.
this doesn't even mean anything to you.
I'm not apologizing for anything. You know, drunk driving's wrong, blah, blah, blah. But he's just so...
He clearly feels deep remorse.
And he starts saying the
Almost
Lord's
immediately,
Prayer. And the officer's like, hey, while you're at it,
Yeah.
why don't... You roll your eyes as if the officer was out of line. But
Well, okay, it's not necessarily out of line, but he is, that's what I'm saying, is he is clearly immediately remorseful and knows he did a bad thing. And the cop is like, why don't I kick you while you're down?
this can't be this officer's first.
Of course not. But
This is one of my biggest fears, is because it's like, well, you think bad people go to jail, and it's like,
not necessarily, but he did a bad thing.
No, he did, but he
deserved
seemed
to go to jail.
No, I know, but he seems
Yeah.
like a good person. So one of my biggest fears is I'm going to do something accidentally wrong.
It's like that thing where they're like, I just read about it recently, and it's the type of thing that I then keep going back to. It's like, I don't know that law of the universe, but you see one thing once and then it happens all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's like, I know that I'm a law-abiding citizen and I know that I would never bring a gun onto an airplane or something, but every time I go through security, I'm like, what if I accidentally put a gun in my bag and I forgot?
Well, and
I've
had not recurring, but more than once, I've had anxiety dreams where I was drunk driving and get pulled over. And that speaks more about not being in control of your life.
Sure.
Still, it's just so he goes to jail for the 4 years, and a cameo by Mike Flanagan Carla Gugino as the judge. I know that voice.
I was going to say, we only heard the voice, right? We didn't see her.
No.
Yeah.
But
I wonder if we will see
No.
her. Okay.
I don't think so.
That's too bad.
So he gets out 4 years later and goes home. Woof, this island. It's too small. It's
Way
too small.
too small.
It's too small. It's too small. 127 residents.
So the mother, Kristen Lehman, Annie, she said there used to be hundreds. And because it feels like all of these people that live there have lived there their entire lives. Were born there, lived there, had their kids
because
there.
The whole episode, I was sort of like, there's an appeal.
There's the idyllic nature of
It's that sort of agrarian society where you were
100%.
Part of me, if I didn't have greater aspirations for my life, part of me is find me an island to just go So
it's not even necessarily that. It's I would, we've discussed it before. My dad has a decent amount of land. I would live at my dad's house because it's far enough away from nonsense, but it's close enough that I only have to drive half an hour to the movies, which is kind of what I drive to get to the movies now. So that's the kind of thing where it's I could do that and be 85% off the grid. But this is so far off the grid.
Is the assumption New England?
Yeah, because it was a nor'easter coming in. There's only 2 ferries a day. They are shockingly racist to the Muslim cop.
It's not
sheriff.
shocking.
Well,
it was borderline charming, I think. Because what was
okay? It's shocking. It's shocking for a Mike Flanagan thing because there hasn't been that level of racism in the other two.
No, but who's the one from Hill House? Is it Robert Longstreet?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that was practically shorthand.
Kept calling him Sharif instead of Sheriff.
Well, they were calling his son Aladdin, and I bristled at that.
Yeah, I didn't like that either.
But I cannot remember if it's 300 or 600. I think it's 300. It's like the average person has like 340 friends on Facebook, and it's because that was the size of the average village.
I think it's closer to 200 or 250.
It's definitely three. I remember
smaller
that much.
than you think, but yeah.
And so because it's like that's the maximum number of people
that you can keep track
that
of.
The average person can
because
keep tabs on.
The size that villages used to be. So it's like you grew up around like 200 people and you didn't intimately know all of them, but you could keep track of that many people.
And so in that regard, the 127, I'm like triple that.
Yeah.
And then I could manage. And, the town I grew up in was 40,000 people. Yeah. So it's like relatively big.
I mean, at least.
Waldorf.
Yeah.
Well, because the traffic was so bad in Waldorf, and Jen's dad always was like, well, it was a town built for 25,000 people that 45,000 people are currently living in.
Well, I mean, Orlando's having the same problem too.
So we have alumni Henry Thomas, Annabeth Gish, Kate Siegel. Applause on her entrance.
Oh my God.
First build Kate Siegel. I like Kate Siegel. I didn't love her episode of Bly Manor, but
I did actually, but I understand you. I understand why you didn't, but I actually kind of
I'm excited to see her in this role.
Yeah.
She is also a prodigal.
Yes, she and Riley, Zach Gilford, are very samey.
It seems
this.
so. Are we assuming
they have both brought shame back to the island?
Are we assuming they're roughly their age? Because they're like 38 each, I think.
They are both 38. I would assume so. They are the same age as each other, which is nice because Zach Gilford always reads younger to me than he actually is. And she reads older in a way that I don't mean in an offensive way. She just reads as more worldly than I guess she is. But
well, the implication is that they're certainly childhood friends, if not sweethearts.
I think they were high school sweethearts. Yeah. And she ran away and he left for real and went to school, I think. And he had money for a while. And then he
tried on every religion like a pair of pants.
In prison, he did that.
Oh, he did that.
That was in prison because he was like, I threw the Bible away the first night.
We'll probably watch this space.
Yeah.
We have very complicated feelings on religion. Complicated. I said what I said. Not all good, not all bad. Probably more of both than each person would expect. Or yours mostly bad?
Mostly bad.
I think that there's some beauty in it that I think we're going to explore on this show. I for
sure think there's some beauty in it. I think the ceremony of Catholicism especially is very pretty. It's also a Catholic island.
We are dealing with Catholicism, which is a beast on its own.
So I don't disagree that Catholicism has a beauty to it and that it's like there are lovely ideas in all organized religion, but I think that the issue comes about when the organizers, if you will, have the power, and I don't think that's appropriate.
And I think we'll get into some of that.
I think we will too.
So we have a new... Is he Monsignor?
No, he's Father Paul.
Okay.
He's just a priest. Hamish Linklater.
Okay.
Yeah.
I recognize him, but I don't know.
He's in an episode of Pushing Daisies, the one with the jockeys. The horse jockeys. He's in tons of other shit. He was on the Newsroom, but that's what I always remember him from is that episode of Pushing Daisies.
So Father Paul comes instead of Monsignor
Pruitt.
Yeah. There's a mystery as to where Monsignor Pruitt is.
He's in that trunk.
And
alternately, he is a cryptid that roams the island.
And Father Paul lets him out.
I don't know. It's so creepy.
And he also potentially has wings or something. Oh, there's a Jersey Devil element.
There's like an albatross. Or like a monster pelican. And that kid was like, you should have seen the wingspan. And I was like, pelicans have like a 6-foot wingspan, regardless of if they're huge.
Maritime cryptids, no, thank you.
Big no for me.
It gets real weird and real ominous. The ocean is like a liminal space.
Yeah.
Where it's kind of like how people say, like, people are like, oh, zombies are like the scariest monster because they're the most plausible. And I feel like nautical cryptids are the scariest because the sea's fucking weird. So I think it's the most.
And we haven't seen everything yet.
I've seen the lighthouse. Yeah. I've seen Aquamarine. I know how this shit works.
I've seen the Meg. I know how thermal pockets work.
So there is a feral cat issue.
Yep.
And something is eating.
But only on like another tiny island. It's not on the main island.
Well, they were on the main island at the end of the episode.
Yeah, but because the brother, Warren, he said all of the stuff from the upwards washes up onto his beach.
Right.
So because they had to take a rowboat to get where they were smoking weed.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, something is eating the cats and not just other cats.
Yeah. But the other cats are eating the other cats.
That fucking scene with all the cat eyes was so creepy.
So spooky. And those boys did not care at all.
No.
And I would be like, there's more cats than there are us. They could easily overpower me.
I'm like that with one cat.
That cat, that 12-pound cat, it's going to overpower me.
So I meant to mention, Kate Siegel is Erin. I'm going to try and learn their names. So Erin is the current school marm.
Yes.
Because her mother was before her.
Yeah.
And Annabeth Gish is Dr. Sarah Gunning.
Mm-hmm.
She has a mother who has dementia. It seems like we're on a fast train to heartbreak with this plot.
Almost definitely. Although I'm not like, I will feel sad for Dr. Sarah. The mother seems not there. And I'm like not endeared really to
I
the
just
mother,
went through this last year with my grandmother, so it's going to like touch things with me. But we have the mayor and his wife, Dolly.
Wade. His name is Wade.
Mayor Wade and Dolly. And then their sister, Roller Girl.
Daughter.
Sorry, daughter. That was weird.
Lisa. But the rude kid calls her Roller Girl because
Mhm.
she's in a wheelchair.
And Warren
That's the brother.
has eyes for Lisa?
Yes. Yeah.
He only has eyes for Lisa. Yeah. We have Samantha Sloyan as Sister Keen.
I've been calling her sister. I don't know if she's actually a nun, but her name is Bev and all that entails.
Well, she's Miss Gulch also.
What is that?
Miss Gulch from The Wizard of Oz. The
mean, the
Wicked Witch
okay.
who comes to take Toto away.
Is she actually that in an adaptation, or she just acts like that?
I think she's going to try and take that dog away.
Oh, yeah. The puppy.
The best, the goodest boy.
Goodest boy.
And
she's a real handful. That meeting about the storm when she was like to Sheriff Hassan was like, everybody knows that we go to St. Patrick's after the storms and
she
blah,
likes
blah,
things
blah.
a certain way.
Woof.
And she'll let you know. So yeah, I'm surprised it's not Marsha K. Harden. That was a tip of the hat for you, Will.
I'm a little thinking she's gonna get obsessed with Father Paul. She already is on the verge, but then she fucking owned him for wearing the wrong robe to mass because it was just like a regular Sunday, not like a special Sunday.
Riley and Erin had we'll call it a meet cute. They
a re-meet cute.
Riley's not doing well.
He's not a good spot. Well, his dad also couldn't be fucking bothered.
I'm torn with the whole like him going to church because usually I'm like, I mean, what are you gonna do like in this town? I mean, just go to church with your parents. But
well, and he did go, and he was like, "Fine, I'll go." But then his dad was like, "You probably shouldn't take communion," which turned into a whole thing.
I was assuming that was for the audience because that, I mean, duh. If you haven't confessed,
in a state of grace, you don't
do it. I mean, I sat there for 3.5 years in the back of the church.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But we mentioned that the younger generation, there's like kids that are running around smoking pot and stuff.
Yep.
But that
so far, those 3 boys and Lisa seem like the only children on this island.
Mm-hmm.
And Erin is pregnant, and we don't know how that happened. She said she was technically married, but it's a long story. She came back to the island pregnant. She's 20 weeks.
And you're anticipating a cat coming out of there.
I mean, the ultrasound looked normal, so we'll see.
So I think that's a good place for the first episode. I mean, it was, like I said, mostly getting to know the characters and setting the stage. So I think we're going to go watch the second episode, and we will reconvene when we're done.
Hey.